It's me, MLB. Here is chapter 85 of Gains, and this one is titled Game Plan for Mum. Unfortunately, you didn't have time to unpack those emotions, and so pushed them aside as you focused on getting yourself ready for the next somewhat stressful thing on your plate. Rummaging through your clothes in your wardrobe, you pulled out a dress that you had picked up from home that you hadn't worn for ages, but you knew was a bit smaller. Holding it up, you checked it over and then lay it on the bed and turned to your ensuite. 10 minutes later, you were out and getting into your dress when there was a knock on the door. Just a minute, you panicked, trying desperately to zip your dress up. It's just me, Kiri's voice said from the other side of the door. Oh, okay, give me a second, you said, the zipping action becoming even more unhinged the longer it was taking to sort it out. Unfortunately, the angle at which you were trying to pull at was very weird, but the dress itself didn't feel like it was too tight. Hey, you said as you walked to the door, holding your dress together with one arm over your shoulder, reaching behind you. You used your free hand to open the door for him, and Kiri was standing there in ripped jeans and a faded Crimson Riot shirt, looking super hot indeed. Oh, you said with surprise and awe. Could you help me for a second? Sure, he said brightly, quickly looking you up and down. You look amazing. Oh, you said bashfully as you stepped back for him to come in, and then closed the door and turned around. Thank you. I just can't seem to get this zipper up. You let go of the dress, and he gently reached out to zip it, but it appeared to be caught. Oh, there's a bit of fabric caught here, he said softly as he stepped in closer to you. You bent your head forwards and a little to the side to give him as much access to the area as possible, as he worked to get the fabric free. It was a little fiddly, so he lowered his face closer so he could see what he was doing, and you could feel his hot breath on your exposed back. This is a really pretty dress, he said softly. I'm glad I get to see you in it. I'm glad too. I'm just happy it fits, you said, trying not to get too distracted at feeling his breath on your skin. Finally he got the zip free and pulled it all the way up, and you lifted your head and wiggled around a little to see if the dress fit well enough. It was quite loose actually, and you looked down your front and then turned around to him. He was bright red across the cheeks and you smiled at him. You okay? You asked. Well, not really. You're really pretty and I can't take my eyes off you, he said bashfully, which made you go a little shy. Can I give you a hug? He then asked shyly. Yes, of course, you replied, melting into him as soon as his arms were around you. Just then there was another knock on the door, and you let Kiri go so you could go and open it. It was your spiky blonde boyfriend, looking as hot as ever with his black Sabbath shirt on and similar ripped jeans to Kiri. Hey, you greeted shyly, feeling very put on the spot as he checked you out right there and then. Hot, you heard him mutter. Yin looks so beautiful, doesn't she? Kiri asked from behind you, popping his head out from behind you so he could smile at Bakugo. He just wanted to make you feel as good as possible, with as many compliments as possible. It would look better without the dress. You thought you heard Bakugo mutter, and your head, that had started to turn back to say something to Kiri, snapped to Bakugo and he smirked. Nothing. Let's go. He then added, Wait, hold on, I feel like I need to debrief you boys on Mum, you said, grabbing for Bakugo's arm to pull him into the room, since he had decided to turn already and head off down the hallway. I already know the dumb rules, he growled. No, this is about my mum. I need your help. There's something wrong, and I don't know how to help her or where to start on helping her, you said with a worried look on your face. Tell us, Yin, Kiri said helpfully. I'll do my best to help. Thanks, E, you said gratefully as he pulled Bakugo in and closed the door. So what's up? Kiri asked. Okay, where do I start? You sighed after closing the door. All I noticed when I went back home last time was that she'd declined, physically and mentally. Before, she used to be up and moving around and would cook and everything, but when I got there this time, she just sat on the lounge and ordered takeaway and looked like she was struggling to breathe and got out of breath when she was walking from the lounge to the kitchen. I also noticed she seemed to be living off takeaway food. She hasn't cooked since I left, and she told me things aren't good with her and Dad, and... You weren't sure if you were making any sense, but it was all coming out now, in short sentences, your brain grabbing onto the pieces of evidence to support your theories and throwing them at your tongue to get them out there. Both boys listened quietly as he spoke, with Kiri nodding occasionally. Then once you'd got it all out, he spoke. That does sound like something's up. I'll do my best to observe her then, he said helpfully. You nodded at him. Thanks, that would be really good if you could. I feel like I need some fresh eyes to look over the situation, you said gratefully. I already know what's going on, Bakugo said with a smirk as he crossed his arms across his chest and stood there smugly. You do? You asked with surprise. What is it? I'm not saying just yet. I'll watch her, he replied, and you hummed. Okay, alright, better not keep Mum waiting. I'll let her know we're here and ready, you said as you grabbed your phone off the desk beside your bed and sent Mum a text. 15 minutes later, she was pulling up on the curb and you smiled as the passenger side window rolled down. Hi, Mum. I'll get in the front and these two can get in the back, you said, stalling a little as you wavered on what to call them. Did you just go with straight up E and cat, or should you keep it a little more formal? Probably better to do the more formal side. My darling, your mum greeted brightly. Hi, Mrs. Lynn, Kiri said brightly, leaning towards you to look at your mum through the window. Oh, my boy, your mum gushed. It's so good to see you again. Thank you, Mum, for keeping the boyfriend thing under wraps, you thought as you opened the door and got into the car. Yes, there was that concern that Mum was going to drop the boyfriend thing, but she didn't, thank goodness. Stay tuned for chapter 86 coming tomorrow. I'll see you then.